Hello and welcome to the flagship show edition of the Blue Monday podcast, a 3 times weekly show looking at all things in Ipswich Town. I'm your host, Rich Woodward, and I'm delighted to welcome back ITFC aficionado David Diamond and the man of a million stats, spreadsheets, accents, GIFs, tweets, Renegade Statman. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Yeah, right, Rich. Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, Rich. Good to see you on here. You're doing a great job already.
Thank you very much. I was wondering if I was going to...
He managed to say flagship properly
I practiced it about 20 times earlier and, yeah, almost said something else. So I'm glad I got it through it. We all went yesterday. Feeling a little bit more optimistic, or it's still quite a tough task ahead of us, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a monumental task. I mean, and as each game goes without a win, you know, especially yesterday against those teams around you. I mean, next week's game, huge, absolutely huge.
It was.
But no, I mean, we'll talk about. I know Stout probably say we'll talk about Lamberts' positivity because I just love it. I mean, I loved him, and I think that must somehow translate to the team, and it's exactly the opposite, right? Almost from game one, which you didn't get from Hurst. You know, he was very much. Well, I didn't really see him say much at all on the. Wasn't animated at all, but I mean, Lambert made every headed every ball, made every tackle. He was living it, wasn't he? Brilliant.
Climbed every mountain. Yes. Are you happy with Lambert? Not heard from you on this one yet.
Yeah, no, very happy. I think he fits the mould of a manager who's taken a team out of the Championship upwards, and he was out of work, so I think that was positive that he was available, and I like him and everything that Dave said, and I know we'll touch upon it a bit more, but I thought it was really, really positive. Disappointing to come home yesterday with a draw, but it could have been any other result.
Yeah,
one of those games, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Am I noticing a fledgling beard there, Stat? Am I seeing things? And if so, who are you trying to emulate in your beard growth out of the Blue Monday team, would you say?
Ben contacted me the other month and said, I think you need to grow something. So a couple of months down the line, this is where I'm at.
It's looking really good.
In a bit more, and maybe hopefully get on this show a bit more often. I wonder why.
I think he looks to me like he's going for a full Harry to me.
Harry from Go for the Gandalf. Go on, you can.
I'm going for
exactly.
Hopefully by Christmas. Let's do a bit of a roundup on the news, shall we? Oh, Pep, yeah, a bit of salt and pepper in our chat, isn't it? So, some interesting stuff from Chambo this week in the news. A few quotes. He generally held his counsel about Hurst for the start of the week. Said some really interesting stuff, and then kind of Friday, a bit of a chat about how he thought maybe the previous regime underestimated the Championship, which I think is something I think we've all said at different points. Any thoughts on that, Dave, and anything else that Chambo might have said?
No, most definitely. I mean, if they were going to put a player out, it was always going to be Chambers that first week. I think he was spot on. Certainly, Hurst, I think, totally underestimated the strength of the champion. One, the strength of the Championship, and two, the quality. Let's say the quality of the players he brought in, and the time it takes to adapt to the Championship was probably more important.
Yep.
But no, Chambers. Say what you like about Chambers. I think he always speaks quite well, quite eloquent, really.
Yep. Agree with that, Stat?
Yeah. Totally agree. I think one comment he made was, I think he said the previous regime had kind of made their mind up about some players quite quickly. And I think that was telling, and I think that's why certainly some of our younger players have gone out on loan and sitting on benches or not coming out there. But I think, Chambers is right. Safe pair of hands. He's nearly been here 300 games. If he gets behind, he can't do anything else other than get behind the manager. I think he said the right things, but it's difficult because at some point he might find that he's looking for a job as a centre half, and Paul Hurst is looking for one. So you can't burn your bridges. And I thought,
No, you can't. I think another telling thing I think I did read him saying was that the chopping and changing of the team. I mean, even after the win at Swansea, the team then changed again. Or I think it did, or I think that's what he's alluding to. And he just said he just never knew where. Well, he probably, he was always going to play, but he just never knew. It just never ever got anywhere near settled at all.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see whether Lambert starts to keep a more steady team. It's something Harry and I spoke about on Thursday about the constant changes as well. Other thing happened on Thursday, the AGM, and Lambert straight into it with the rest of his team, which was great, wasn't it? And again, came across really well, didn't he?
I think so. I didn't hear much of it, but did you start?
Oh, we were recording a history show.
Oh, of course.
Yes, right.
That's why I asked you guys about it. I thought you were front row. Yeah, no.
Joe
was there.
I think there was. Yeah, Joe was there and live tweeted, I think, and there was probably some really minuscule issue that some people there decided to concentrate on instead of, being 5 points.
Or something.
Match day pies, and can we buy a half and half scarf or something? I don't know.
Pin machines, I think, was the big issue.
But I think that's a great event, great venue. People can go there, and he came across with a bit of sense of humour. One thing that I thought was quite interesting, I think it was in there that he mentioned about the Middlesbrough game where we lost 2-0 at home. He said that after the game he phoned his assistant manager and said, "Well, I think even the fans are giving up." And I was like, Why would he phone his assistant manager unless he was already being tapped up? And if he was being tapped up then I'm a bit worried that the delay in appointing him could impact on where we finish at the end of the season.
Well, hold that thought. There's a really good question on that.
I think we touched on that, guys. I think we really touched on that after the Swansea game. Did that win cover up a myriad of issues, which I think it did.
Yeah.
And I think going into I think to the last international break, wasn't it?
And
yes,
a stay of execution, because if he'd lost that one,
I think 6 points there, not saying the results would be any different, but QPR and Leeds, Leeds, but QPR dreadful. That might come back. Ironically, the win might come back to haunt us, bizarrely.
Yeah. Well, hold that thought. As I say, really good question on that one. It'd be good to get some extra thoughts on that one. And finally, club announced a ticket promotion for the West Brom game. I mean, they're struggling, aren't they? Friday night on Sky. It's good that they've done that. I think the prices are £10 for adults and then falling down from there. But is it like to do anything to the gate on a Friday night, gents?
I can't know. I was disappointed with yesterday's crowd, to be honest with you. Just over 15,000.
Yeah.
I thought a few more people would have come down and seen a new manager, but they might be thinking, "Blimey, I only did that 3 months ago with the previous manager." So I don't know, but I was kind of hoping that we might be pushing up towards 18,000. So Friday night against West Brom on Sky. Is that still Christmas shopping night? I don't know, but I reckon that we'll struggle to get above 14 for that, I'd say.
I think you're right. Yeah,
I think you need to queue up your attendance records tweet their stat just in case on that one. That being said, West Brom not in great form at the moment, so who knows. But anyway, I think we'll all endorse the idea of getting down to Portman Road and supporting the team, and it sounds like there are big numbers at Reading next weekend as well, which is huge, as we've talked about already. So I think it's we definitely need to get blind players. Every little incentive helps, doesn't it?
Can I just say that I won't be there next weekend, so apologies for that. But I'm at the Royal Berkshire Hotel, Dave.
Very nice, mate. Very nice. Well, you was that wedding anniversary or something, mate? What's going on?
No, we're going off to a friend's birthday party, so I've taken Mrs. Stat down there, and I did kind of start looking at how close Reading was and stuff like that, and I got the look to say,
the look. I know the look. I know the look well from her. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No.
Oh, I thought you meant that you knew the look from Mrs. Stat.
Not from Mrs. Stat. No. I knew that's where
you guys are getting too close.
No. We all know that. We all know the look.
We all know the
look.
On that, let's look back to Preston. Thank you very much for hosting with aplomb there. Back to Preston, and. First lineup from Paul Lambert. I guess one big surprise. Harry and I called the back five, including the keeper, spot on. No surprises there. Maybe Spence, a question mark at whether he plays Spence or Donassi. Guys, any thoughts on that one, Start?
I don't know what's happening to Donassi, and obviously this work permit thing is just rolling on. And Spence. Well, he's got height, which is what he adds. I'm not his biggest fan, but I thought he did okay yesterday, and I think probably that back five was spot on with what we had available.
And then a midfield.
I thought Spence played well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, got in early as down the right side as well.
The midfield was much better with obviously Chalobah being more advanced than Skews. I mean, Christ, everyone's been crying out for that. It's just blindingly obvious. And
So Skews, Chalobah, Downs in that three. Skews certainly the deeper of those three, and almost kind of sat in front of the back four when we weren't in possession, was he? And then up the kind of front three, as it were, Edwards, Sears, and up front in the middle, the Leicester spotted Jordan Roberts. Any thoughts on him suddenly making an appearance, Dave?
Christ, no. I mean, he must have been flying in training or something. Well, I assume he was. Big shock. Absolute one out of left field there. I mean, I think we did hear on the grapevine and can't really say too much about where from, but we did hear on the grapevine that there was going to be a shock starter. And I thought, okay, it's going to be Lancaster. Then I said Jimmy Belcher's stat, if you remember.
Yeah, Jimmy Belcher. He was unavailable. He's celebrating his 86th birthday.
Yeah, Jimmy couldn't make it. So I'd assumed. Go on.
I was hoping it was going to be something, right from left field and Dylan Crow coming in.
Yeah, you said Dylan Crow.
Danny Rowe, because we wanted
I thought it was going to be Rowe or perhaps a start for Lancaster, but no, my God. And, getting to it, I think he did pretty well. Led the line quite well.
He did, yeah. He was getting stuck in, wasn't he? Let's quickly talk Preston. Hopefully, no surprises from Harry's immense piece of research on Thursday. Sweeper keeper Maxwell in goal. More of him later on. A slotted back four of Clark, Hunton and Davies. And my name is Earl, who was number 3 at left back. 2 sitting midfielders in Pearson and Johnson, and then a 3 of Barkhuizen, Brown and Robinson, who was probably their best player in leading up to the game, and certainly was one who caught the eye yesterday, wasn't he, Dave?
Good player. Yeah, I like Robinson. Very good.
And then Maguire up front, who's also hardly thought of. So let's get into it, and actually a pretty decent start from Town, wasn't it? Certainly a lot more energy. Edwards got in pretty early on, had a shot blocked, and Jordan Spence got down their right hand side and a cross cleared. So yeah, pretty decent start, wasn't it? Good energy.
I think that was evident right from the start. For once, it looked like we had a proper press, and we're pressing higher up the pitch, and the fullbacks were getting certainly Spence right in front of me when where I sit was really getting forward, which was evident right from the start. So that was good.
There was a bit of a weird moment on 15. We had a free kick, this set aside for Roberts, who hit one low. And it hit Pearson, who was lying on the ground. And Roberts got a yellow card, didn't he, I think, for that one. And we couldn't figure what had gone on there, because we thought it was one of those lying down behind the wall situations. Yeah. And he'd taken one in the special area. And the referee had taken sympathy and carded Roberts. But I think, was it a push by Scoos, maybe?
I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. I've forgotten about it. Till you said it. I honestly can't recall it. But until you said it, yeah, of course. Yeah, hit him in the... Hit him square, didn't it? And he was down, and then gave a foul against. I didn't realise there was a yellow card in there as well.
I think Roberts got a yellow for that. My notes are not as forensic as Harry's or Ben's, so apologies in advance, guys, if I mess something
Roberts
up.
Roberts might have got one later on in the second half, but anyway, I might be wrong. Yeah.
Well, Dave,
you got to tell him off.
You need to make your notes as well now, Dave. And you and I just kind of
I do notes. I've got the team.
Make it up as we go along. What I said to people, off the cuff, sort of. But what I said to people around me was, if we start giving free kicks for a ball actually hitting a player, then we're going to be stopping the game all the time. Because to me, it just seemed like he was on the ground and he was shooting towards the goal. I didn't see any infringement at all.
The only thing, if like Rich said, if it was a wide, you were there, that was square. You were watching, behind it. The only thing I think was he got one of our players was in the wall. I think, did you say Scoos, perhaps?
I think it was a shove from Scoos. It was Pearson who was the player
or something. I don't know.
That referee gave them, in my opinion, so many decisions in the first half, and free kicks that we conceded, and he didn't seem to reciprocate it the other way. And it was interesting. I was reading an article online from a Preston fan who thought the referee was terrible and thought. Chambers could have been booked very easily within the first 15 or 20 minutes, and I just didn't see that. He was an appalling referee.
Yeah.
But then we didn't complain about him later on in the half, so we'll have to.
Well, he had a busy afternoon,
didn't he? To be fair, that was the linesman. To be fair, but go on.
So a few minutes later, Sears gets in, crosses to Roberts, who's kind of half falling over as he spins to hit it, and it goes out wide. But still, it's Town on top. Preston had a chance from Robinson, who cut in on the left, but a fairly tame shot that Bart palmed away. Chalobah has a kind of a moment on 25 and 26 where one moment he heads off the line from a corner. The second minute he passes the ball into Barkhuizen, who plays in Robinson, and I think who nearly gets in. I think someone gets in and intercepts, possibly Pennington. So the good and bad of Chalobah in 1 minute there, Dave.
Yeah, we said around us, one thing about Chalobah playing 30, 40 yards further forward is, he is sometimes, Yeah, he likes to try and not always do the simple thing, which I like, and you encourage that. But if he is going to lose the ball, better lose the ball 40 yards up the pitch than on the edge of our box, which he has done before, much deeper. But yeah, that one was, I think he was perhaps even in our half, and he just passed it blind, didn't he?
Yeah.
We got away with that a bit.
Flynn Downs got almost on the end of something on 28 as well. I think there was a foul there. It didn't look like a foul to me, but you mentioned Chalobah getting forward. Downs actually got a lot further forward as well, and actually was taking a set piece as well. I thought it was one of Downs' better performances yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that stat?
Yeah, I thought he was. He was interested in getting involved with lots of things, the corners and free kicks, and that was great to see. That he was confident enough to say, "Well, give me the ball, I'll have a go." And that's mainly what we kind of want as fans, is to see some of the younger players come into the team. And he came in. I thought he played very, very well.
I think we should perhaps at this stage mention who didn't make the squad yesterday, which was quite interesting. So no Nolan, no Enciala, and no Grant Ward.
Yeah.
So he's obviously made his mind up fairly quick.
I think Enciala needed to take it out of the fire. I think Nolan was injured possibly, but Ward is. Ward's
Ward's an interesting one though, because Ward's always been in and around the team, like less the squad when he's been fit, I think, this season.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
What about Jordan Graham? Was he on the bench?
He was.
Well, there's certain rumour I've heard going round that he's gone, is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Oh, this is like TMZ with Dave. Who's sleeping with who, Dave? Anything else,
Dave and my wife, I think, from what he said earlier.
I'm going back to there. What's that stat? You and me and who?
You and my wife.
With the look.
Yeah.
Royal Berkshire Hotel, room 208.
Wow.
Some of the complaints will be false. 30. Meggs from Guion Edwards gives it to Roberts, cuts in from the right hand side and hits a low shot just wide of the post. But again, Roberts doing really well. I think he's a bit one-footed from what I remember, but he's definitely gets himself about a bit and not afraid to have a shot as well.
No, he's very one-footed, and unfortunately his first touch, I would suggest, isn't the best. But yeah, like I said, I thought he led the line really well. And what I would say about yesterday, I think it certainly brought the best out of Sears. I thought Sears had a great, or certainly first half, he was really good, really
Very busy,
good.
wasn't he?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
37. Chambers gets the yellow here. I think for a bit of off the ball. And again, another one of these incidents that we didn't really know what happened. I heard shout of a bit of an elbow possibly from Chambers.
All right.
I think it's on Maguire, but either of you guys recall that or remember that, or any insight on that one? Nope. Let's keep going then. Thanks for taking notes. 38. Flynn Downs. We've talked about him a bit. Floats a kind of nice half volley just over the corner of crossbar and post. That was a nice hit. Wasn't it?
Really good play from Chalobah. Came out to Chalobah, nodded it down into space. Yeah, good turn effort. Always going over, but yeah, as you say, confident enough to have the crack. And he was. As Stat said, it was good to see a young player like that taking responsibility for set plays and stuff like that. Yeah, it's good.
One thing I've noted here, it's in chronological order, but I've lumped this in, and you could probably say it from minute one, is Lambert constantly prowling the technical area. And we talked about it already, but he was kicking every ball, as you said earlier, Dave. How much encouragement do they think the players get from that? Or is it
loads.
just the...
Absolutely loads. And little thing, all right, perhaps it was his first game. He might not quite be this way after his third or fourth game. But certain things, Bart, for instance, tried to pick someone out wide from a goal kick, kicked it into touch. But he got applause from that, the idea with the thought was there, and quit thinking, obviously, that what he wanted him to do. No, I think players can surely take heart from that. I'm not sure, certainly towards the end of his tenure, that Hurst's body language was the best, was it?
No, arms crossed.
Yeah.
Sound his own.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he was there and he was prowling along, and the fact that he applauded each stand at times and like that. It was almost like he recognised the fact that the fans were getting behind the team, and he, in my opinion, created a really positive atmosphere.
Yeah.
And he didn't quite kick every ball and jump up for every header, but he was very animated in there, and I think it was really positive and came across to the team, and I think that's why overall we certainly were the better team in the first half, definitely.
Yeah.
And we are about to give Paul Lambert something to celebrate as well. We are just before half-time. A pass back is made from our half to their goalkeeper.
It's ridiculous.
And who wants to take this? Dave, do you want to talk us through this one?
Yeah, I'll do this. It was a ridiculous ball. That Earl, I thought, was half decent. He had a half decent first half. He looked a good player. Good left foot, good left back, and then the ball sort of like pinged to him. I want to say perhaps on the halfway line, and to be fair, it's the way he's facing. So he's got he's facing his own goal, and he just pings a first-time ball back to the keeper, which was decent enough ball, but fair bit of pace on it. And yeah, he put the keeper right under. And this is great from Sears in the first instance. Sears, we said he was busy yesterday. Closing down really well. Keeper initially did quite well. Got the touch ahead of Sears, but bit of a heavy touch, and then great by Roberts. We spoke about the pressing. Brilliant by Roberts, who is quick. Just got there before him, nudged it past him, and yeah, clear. And good for the linesman. Linesman right in front of me just flagged for it straight away. And yeah, just confirmed it. Yeah, it was just inside the box. So yeah, I don't think anything. Never going to be a sending off there. The ball was going away from goal, and I think it's this new double jeopardy rule.
I was going to say, if Ben was here, we'd be talking about double jeopardy.
Oh, Christ. Yeah,
everyone around me is going sending off, and then you've got smug face like, no, double jeopardy.
It's not going to happen.
And then tucks it away, Sears. Tucks it away quite nice, doesn't he?
Yeah, great penalty, and I think he deserved it for his first half display. And again, that's good to see. He took responsibility. We all know he's not the most prolific, Freddie, as we know. Took responsibility for it and took it really well. Great.
Yeah. And half-time is, exactly right. Half-time whistle goes, and Town very much the better team start.
Yeah, certainly. I would say we well deserved our half-time lead. Sears, as I said to people around me, just going into the dressing room now, Lamberts going to be buzzing, the team are going to be buzzing, and Preston are going to, probably think, Ipswich didn't really look like a team that were bottom of the table in that first half, and I was really encouraged by that, and I was encouraged by just the whole positivity around. And going back to the penalty, Dave, when the ball went and Roberts was there, and I kind of just shouted, just go for it, because I thought, if he gets to it, the keeper is just going to come out and clatter him over. And I think we know some centre forwards that we've had in the past that wouldn't have even made the effort to go for that ball. Yeah. So that was really positive, and I think everybody played really well, and I think it was really positive for Roberts. That he's come in, and what did he play? 24 minutes in total this season to come in, and I thought he led that line well and won the penalty. So there we go.
He did, and a bit like Harrison to a degree. One he's punched above his weight at times in the air as well. Won some great balls in the air.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not really sure about his first touch, but yeah, you can see why the manager had confidence in putting him in there.
Absolutely right. Well, we're buoyant. We're starting the second half, and I guess I don't know about you. 1-0. We heard from Paul Hurst that 2-0 is a difficult scoreline. 1-0 for Ipswich is a difficult scoreline, and probably under Mick, it's the kind of scoreline where maybe we'd sit. But actually, I think it was a bit messy the first 10 minutes of the second half, wasn't it? But certainly we weren't sitting back, were we?
I just get the feeling that we didn't know whether to stick or twist a bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think under Mick we would have stuck. I just thought second was you're dead right, Rich. Second half start I thought was very scrappy, really scrappy.
Yeah. I've got nothing apart from Callum Robinson was offside. Guion was got a yellow card. I think it says harsh here. I can't remember the incident anymore. But yeah, messy first 10, and then we almost have a Cole Skuse wonder goal, a long ranger from Cole Skuse, which happens maybe once or twice a season. But it wasn't close, was it? I'm side on. You guys?
I can remember this one. He shinned it in the north stand, and it absolutely in the Sir Bobby lower, absolutely, because it was set up, and he'd go, here we go. Whoosh.
I think you're being a bit generous to him as well about 1 or 2 goals a season.
I
maybe
said shots. I didn't say goals.
Oh, shots.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just spotted Kolsky shots.
I think one of the things that kind of affected us is the second half, and I must admit, I kind of thought if we're going to win this game, we're going to need to score a second goal. But Jordan Roberts, like I said earlier, 23, 24 minutes that he's played all season. I think he just ran out of steam at the end.
And he did. Yeah.
That impacted on how we played.
It definitely.
When did we make the first sub?
So where's my notes?
So it was Rowan.
So they make the first changes. Jackson comes in, leaks by 75. I'll come to it. I can't see it quickly here, but it's not too far after that. Chalobah follows Skuse with another long ranger that I thought was more long, high and wide.
This was really good. This was the one bit of play from Chalobah yesterday where I said to my boy, I said, that's where he should be playing. He actually got the ball under control, and actually very direct. ran straight, very direct, broke the line. Yeah, okay. I said until we got to about 20 yards, I got a bit excited and saw the whites of the goals just blaze. But that's where he should have been playing all season. That for me was the real point of note of the whole game for Chalobah.
And we need midfielders to score if we've not got the quality.
Not just midfield to score, but the intent he showed. You know what I mean? So say up to this point in previous games, Skews would have been the more forward of the two. There's no way you'd see Skews do that. Skews would have got the ball under and be looking to play it left or right.
Yeah. So Downs as a corner, I thought Downs' corners were pretty decent. And Pennington gets on the end of one and heads it just wide. That was close, wasn't it? That one, I thought.
That was the chance, I think.
Yeah.
We didn't create much. It was a lot better, but we didn't create much. That was the chance. Stat, you probably had a better view from where you.
It was a good effort, and I think you're right. If we'd have gone in, if that had gone in 2-0, I think we'd have won the game at that point.
I think we'd seen 2-0 out. I think we would yesterday. Yeah.
So Preston on 60 made the first of quite aggressive substitutions from Alex Neil, which you're going to come back to haunt him later on. But Johnson, who hadn't done much apart from a bit of telling us where to take free kicks from and pissing off all of the stands.
For the penalty,
he comes off and Malt comes on. And then there's a bit of handbags with Sears up in the co-op stand near the North stand. He pushes, I think he kicks out as someone shoved him into the photo kind of area.
Yeah.
The little nest. He kicks out and someone shoves him, number 5. Clark shoves him back. Yellow
seeing
for
on
Sears.
Seeing on the forum, Pete was saying perhaps he was a bit lucky that was only a yellow there.
Yeah. And Clark didn't get a booking for that. It was a shove.
No.
But anyway, nothing doing there. We have a bit of a break in play for an injury to Jonas Knudsen. What do we think? Stat, what do you think on Jonas yesterday? Because he obviously lost his place in the team a little bit under Hurst, has come back in. Did he do anything different under Lambert, or is it same old? It was a few punts up the side of the pitch, weren't there, yesterday? But
my dad used to say, that's my good old bless my old dearly deceased dad used to say, you can't polish a turd.
Do you agree with that, Stat?
His distribution is terrible still, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I like him. I like him as a player. He's wholehearted. He's strong. He's good in the air, and he's got a great left foot, powerful. But my God, his distribution's poor, isn't it? He's part.
Dave's basically answered for me, but I
was desperate to hear from you, Stat.
Yeah, what I would say is he seemed to be, doing long throws more often, which never come to anything. But I think he's our only left back, so I don't think there's any real issue about. We're not going to have.
Is Kenlock injured?
I think he is. Yeah,
I think he's injured. Yeah.
That's been fairly long term because I haven't seen him in any squads for seemingly weeks, but I'm sure it's not.
But we're not going to have Lambert's not going to suddenly put Danasi in at left back. I think he's going to,
which is great.
Certainly for your first game, round pegs in round holes, which is what he went for. And I think, Jonas, he gives you a 6 out of 10 every week.
Does.
Sometimes
I'm being
unfair.
Perhaps I'm being a bit unfair. Just sometimes his final ball, he never ever when he gets the ball in good positions, he never gets it past the first defender. He just always seems to make the wrong choice. I think you're right, Stat. He does at least, if you're going to play a back four, you've got to have a right-footed right back for me and a left-footed left back for Christ's sake. Unless you're, go on, Maldini or someone.
Maldini, he did break a record though yesterday for the most shirt changes in one game.
Oh, he had a few, didn't he?
Yeah.
Forgot his head wound.
I only saw one. Was there more?
Yeah, he certainly put on. He had two.
Were you taking notes?
Yeah, I was taking notes at the time he was changing his shirt.
When he should have been taking notes.
That's true. Yeah.
Jim
was distracting me. That's his fault.
Yeah.
So we're at 70 minutes, and the aggressive substitutions from Alex Neil continue. Nemecha comes on for Barkhuizen, who I didn't really do much. He had one kind of foot race with Knudsen in which he won, but didn't really do much. And the other change was Paul Gallagher on for Brown, which immediately pays dividends. So who's?
Can I say? Me and the bloke behind me. As soon as he came trotting on, we said, "Don't want to be giving any free kicks away around the box. Don't want to be any free kicks away with him coming on."
Prescient.
Sod's law within a minute, 30 seconds.
It was his first touch, wasn't it? Stat, talk us through it.
It was literally right in front of me, and
particularly the wall.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
sorry, Stat, just quickly, what about the foul though? 'Cause it looked really soft, and I've seen it on Quest. I saw it on the Quest, and I think it's Maguire's. But the only thing I noticed him doing all game yesterday, and sort of Edwards sort of gets wrong side of him a bit, doesn't he? But he does enough go down easy, and the ball runs loose. Looks soft to me.
It was never a free kick.
No.
It was right in front of me. It was never a free kick. So Rich, when you were talking about the wall, I kind of watch my games and live my games close to the sort of Roy Keane red zone sort of thing. And I must admit, I think I was still kind of venting about the fact there was never a free kick. And the same as you, Dave, when Gallagher came on, you think we've got to be careful. And suddenly, within a minute, he's got a free kick almost just outside the penalty area, and I'm thinking, this isn't good.
Right in the D, wasn't it? Really, really close.
Well, and again, me and the other chap said, no, he'll never get this. Well, he didn't have to. He'll never get this up and over. It's far too close. In other words, you thought it looked more dangerous if it had been another 5 yards, 10, not even 10, 5 yards back.
I don't want to criticise Bart because I'm a real big fan of his, but I don't know whether there was a lack of communication. He didn't really seem to be standing in the right spot for me. There didn't seem to be a lot of communication between the two, and I think overall, probably one of Bart's worst games I've seen for a while. His distribution was terrible. He seemed to have caught dartsitis at one point, particularly when we discussed in a little while about where he was then. He couldn't release the ball. I'm thinking, look, we've got 12 minutes left against 10 men, and I just thought he didn't have a lot to do. He didn't have a great deal to do in that game. But I think as soon as that ball went, as soon as the ball went down there and Gallagher was there, I thought we could be dangerous. But I was still. The red mist was settling too much to kind of comment on what the wall was like.
I can't believe, because the way the goal went in, obviously, it wasn't particularly technical free kick, was it? There was a Preston player in the wall who moved out of the way and he put it there.
Yeah.
But surely, wouldn't you try and have a town player, behind the Preston player?
Or on the post.
Behind the Preston.
This is crying out for someone on the post, mate, because it's so close in. I thought the wall was too far to the right as I was sat behind it, and Bart was actually stood behind the wall as well, slightly. So I thought he'd left the left-hand side of the goal open. I mean, Gallagher's hit it decent, hasn't he? Stat. I mean,
he knows Gallagher. I mean, Gallagher's good enough. Gallagher probably is one of the players in the Championship who perhaps even would have been good enough to get that almost up and over. He's that good, but. For him, it was just all too easy. And it went in. It's one of those guys. Oh, it's in. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
And just a comment there on his celebration as well. He took off his black armband, which yesterday was for Remembrance Day and also for all the people that lost their lives in that helicopter crash at Leicester. So good solidarity there.
I noticed that.
He was at Leicester for I think he's 4 or 5 years, I think. Whilst they were owners. So that was a good moment, and that minute of silence was really.
Yeah, I see where that's coming from. Yeah, of course he was.
After the mishaps at Millwall, the minute of silence yesterday was done really well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So fair play for everyone in the club.
Yeah.
For that, and then not too long after he's scored with his first touch, we've got Jackson's on at this point, so Roberts could have withdrawn. I guess I don't know if it was after the goal, but there or thereabouts. We're at 75 minutes. Ball played in down the right side in front of the Cobbold stand. It's a race between Jackson and sweeper keeper Maxwell, and someone wins and someone loses, and someone's about to have an early bath. Dave.
Again, you can almost call it, couldn't you? You can see it was just an accident waiting to happen. That wasn't it? And Jackson's quick, isn't he? Know that about it. And it was just very, very similar to only it was outside the box to the end of the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was also, sorry, David. Also, I think it happened about 5 minutes before that as well, where he came racing out towards the co-op stand. And I'm saying he needs to be careful. This guy, he's already on a yellow card, and then, like I say, lo and behold, after we've been deflated by the equaliser, I'm thinking, go on, just see if you can win it. Win the ball in a foot race, and that was it. Once he went, there was only going to be one decision made, and he was rightly, got the second yellow, and off he went.
But then, as we all felt, a really odd choice that you think the going goal. When Gallagher then gets the jersey and goes in goal, you think, this is all right.
After about 5 minutes, wasn't it? I mean, it took him a while. Keeper's walked off, by the way.
Clark wanted to do it, I think.
Keeper's walked off with it in his keeper top down straight to the tunnel. And so they need to find another. The reserve keeper's on the bench. He's getting his kit out, and then they're figuring out who wants to do it. Gallagher is the one who gets the short straw, and he's in net straight away. And I guess from this point on, we've got Preston who've made 3 subs, so they can't bring on another keeper, and this is where our heads kind of go a little bit, and we had a really good opportunity to try and take advantage of this, and I think heads just went, didn't they, Dave?
Yeah, and we had corners and stuff, and it was just crying out. And I think we spoke about Midgilton earlier, maybe before we came on air or something. I don't know how his name came up, but he was crying out for a QPR type corner the other way, like a Midgilton used to, or Freeman did for QPR. Just drop a corner under the crossbar, drop it right on the goalkeeper, drop it on him. We just couldn't do it. We just could not do it.
And it took us for ages to have a shot as well. Go on, Stat.
Yeah. Go on, Stat. You're going to say.
I mean, I think we just lacked any idea. I mean, you kind of looked at the clock, and I thought, we've got 12 minutes left. There's plenty of time. We just need to be relaxed and think, we'll find the spare man. And like you say, Dave, we've got to test the keeper, but we didn't test the keeper. And if anything, I think Preston at that point, when they realised that we weren't going to absolutely batter them and drop balls into the box, like you're saying, sort of grew in a bit more confidence. And you would have thought that potentially, they did have some chances later, but if you don't test the keeper, and let's be honest, I don't want to put a sort of a negative spin on yesterday, because it was positive, but one shot in the whole game, and I think if you've got.
I know you're right. I think there was 13 shots, 2 on target, so we didn't really test Maxwell. We didn't test Maxwell either, but I mean, it's just so us. I mean, great, I like him. Danny Rowe comes on, and I like Danny Rowe.
So he comes on for Edwards.
Yeah, and you think, he said, what a bit of technique that was. I mean, that was absolute class when he pulls it out of the air. Sorry, is this the next thing you're going to get to?
It's not, but we might as well go there, because what I was going to say is that...
I'm getting ahead of it.
It's fine, Dave, it's fine. I've got lots of notes to go through. You've got about 10 minutes worth of notes here. No, 2 bits. Well,
he's got like 81st minute, Spence passes infield Chambers. Yeah. Gives it back to Spence, gives it back to
I've got all the quadrants of the pitch marked out, and it's ball goes into 7, goes into 8. I'm like Charles Collins back in the day.
This is Harry from Bath.
He's
rubbing off.
I'm learning from the master. No, I was just going to say,
hang around too much.
He's actually right. It's the Beard Brigade. We're all too nerdy. I don't know if it's the free kick straight up from the keeper sending off, but there's definitely at least one crap set piece where Preston break up the pitch immediately. I think it might be the one for the sending off, actually. And we've done this so many times from and I know you've got a problem with this, Dave, with us conceding possession from an attacking set piece and almost conceding a goal.
It's a shocker. But then we get this, I think it comes from a corner. I believe it comes from a corner. And it's headed out to Rowe, who's 20 yards out, and what a bit of technique this is. So first movement, flicks out with his left foot, turns and absolutely larrups the volley. And then on the face of it, I thought, how the hell has he kept that out? But I say it's straight at him. It's dipping under the bar as well. But to be fair to Gallagher, as my son said, it probably worked in their favour, because Gallagher, I think, is probably 6'3", and probably Maxwell's only probably about.
His kicking was better than Maxwell's. His kicking was better than Maxwell's as well, wasn't it?
No, of course he was. Yeah, you could see why. And
would you say, Dave? Would you say that he was the best keeper of the 3 out on the pitch?
That's a bit harsh. A little bit harsh. And he just thrusts his fist up in the air, and that's a hell of a save. It was a great save, if it was a first choice keeper, for Christ's sake. But it's just typical of our luck, isn't it, for God's sake?
Good camera. The question is it a camera save, Stat? Because does he need to dive in the air like he does and puts his fist out, or could he just stand still and palm it over like that?
Good point. I think he probably does, because the speed he hits, he middles it, doesn't he? Absolutely brilliant
hit from Ray.
I think he did what he thought he should do at that point, which is what a keeper. But I think the thing is, 2 things I want to say. Danny Rowe, I think, is one of the very few players in our squad that can actually do what Danny Rowe did. And the second point, it was straight at him. I think if it had been a foot either side, then he would have struggled.
It's a great shout. Yeah, absolutely.
I think you'd struggle to see a better, if that had gone in, struggle to see a better goal at Portman Road this season, probably. I like Rowe, and I was pleased for Rowe. Didn't say he did much else, wasn't in the game that much, but at least people could see what he's about, which is great, and hopefully he'll stay around the squad now, because I really like him.
Yep. So we've got a couple more bits. Downs is sub for Andre Dizelle. I mean, you talk about majority. No, I was saying this as well. When you're looking for someone to put their foot on the ball to try and make something happen, it's a big ask of an 18-year-old to do that, isn't it? And be the mature, kind of level-headed midfielder. But he's not got many options, has he, Lambert?
He hasn't. No, he hasn't.
He was the only player that you could really go to on the bench to actually to play that role. And like you say, he's 18, 19 or whatever. It's
still immature.
Yeah. We can't put too much on his shoulders. But to be fair, we just didn't create anything really in those 12
No, I
minutes.
mean, I think Preston did well actually. They didn't allow us. We didn't once, certainly after sending off, we didn't once get to the byline and look like getting across from a decent position, did we?
No.
And perhaps when we did, as I said before, all the balls on the left hand side with unfortunately Knudsen, when he needs to float across, drives it, and when he needs to drive it, floats it. Oh, it's just yeah.
So the notes that I've got here, my meticulous forensic notes, say lack of patience, forcing things. There wasn't a huge amount of pattern, and actually Preston were breaking in greater succession actually, and we were kind of lucky, particularly this moment here. Chambers, he loses out on a header on a 50-50. The ball breaks through. I think it's Nemecha who's through.
What a tackle!
Basically, Pennington's got two players to mark, and he cuts in on Nemecha. I think it's a great tackle, isn't it, Stat? I mean, I've got a name down here from the 99-2000 promotion Premier League side that I wanted to compare it to, but honestly, if you come up with the same one. But Pennington was great yesterday, and that was a point-saving tackle, wasn't it?
Tony Mowbray-esque, would you say?
No.
John McGreal.
John McGreal. I'm thinking the Chelsea game or whatever it was, I think.
Yeah,
or Liverpool away, possibly.
I thought Pennington was outstanding yesterday. He's a very, very good player.
But lucky. We were lucky there, weren't we, Star? I mean, that was chucking it away.
As soon as the ball went to him, and I looked at Pennington and I thought, you kind of hold your breath and think you've just got to get this spot on, because the referee will quite easily give them a penalty, and it was one of the best tackles I've probably seen at Portman Road for couple of seasons or so. I thought it was excellent. I thought Pennington played really, really well. He was my man of the match. You can see he's got a good future, certainly in the Premier League.
Chance of getting him, do you think?
Oh, there's a question on that. Come back to that question, Dave. It's like you've read them. It's like you've prepared, and I know you don't like that. Actually,
I mean, you can read these questions before we start recording.
Publicly available all on the interweb.
In the public domain.
That tackle by Pennington actually comes before the Rowe volley, and we're kind of coming into, according to my notes, which may or may not be right, 7 minutes of added time, because they took their time sorting out their goalkeeper change, but we weren't any. He was, yeah, it's a good shout, but we were no closer, were we? The only one thing that I've got is Dazelle takes the corner right at the death. And it's headed over by Spence, a kind of defensive clearing header from Spence rather than. That's all I've got. There was a bit of a shout for a penalty for Preston. Robinson, who's their best player, easily their best player. It drops in the box. Someone fluffs it, and I think there's a shout of handball, which I don't think was going to be given. So
that was a good chance. That was a very good chance for them. I mean, I did something that I don't usually do at football, which is when the 7 minutes went up, I got my phone out and actually set the stopwatch on it, because I thought this is going to be sort of like a cliffhanger. And the next thing I looked down, I was saying 3 minutes have gone. I'm never going to do that again. 3 minutes have gone, which in my own mind I'd have thought was probably only about a minute. So then it kind of panicked me a little bit more. But yeah, I think we were about 96 and a half minutes when that chance came, and I think that they Preston could have nicked that at the end. And there was some few people around me when it went to like 97 minutes and about 10 or 15 seconds who were like, blow the whistle, ref. So there were clearly people who were a bit worried, and I was thinking, well, don't blow it. Let's just try and get up the other end and have a shot. But it probably summed it up in the second half for me, and the whole game. I think both sets of fans and managers would have been disappointed to have lost that game.
Probably means the draw. That's what Colin Murray said. Draw is probably fair, and that's full time. And a really good first half actually, kind of a bit of a morale booster. But again, the kind of usual suspects. Conceding goals from set pieces and a lack of threat up front. But as we said at the start, Dave, are you feeling a little bit more positive with Lambert?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Let's hope it's not a false dawn. I think we all said that after the was it the Middlesbrough second half, and then after that second half was the very next game Swansea. I can't remember when we actually won. I can't remember. Possibly, I don't know. And that, let's say, okay, we went on to beat Swansea, and that didn't come to anything. But no, I think the body language, the players just seemed much more relaxed, I thought, yesterday in possession, which is a good thing. Not quite, certainly the body language from Lambert was fantastic. And I can't really recall in his previous managerial position roles whether he is that way, that animated on the touch. I seem to think perhaps he is.
I think he is, yeah.
Way.
I think
And I
he
think
is.
that must transmit to the players. So no, it was encouraging, but you've got to say, did we deserve the 3 points? Not really. Nah, draw was about right.
And the atmosphere stat slightly better, despite the fact we were hoping for more bodies in there. It was a bit of a better feeling around the place, wasn't there?
There was a good feeling, and I think when Paul Lambert came out, and then we had the minutes silence and stuff. I just think everything was set up quite nicely for that, and I think the team set out to try and press and push on as much as they could in the first half, and I think the fans reciprocated as well. Most people that I walked out with were kind of disappointed that we'd got a draw, but still felt quite buoyant by the fact that about how we played, and I think what we got from yesterday's game is hope, and as I always say, we just need a little bit of hope, and even though we're still only 5 points off, 5 points off safety, I think I've got more hope now with Paul Lambert in charge, and
oh God.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we'll come back to the roundup, and explain possibly why maybe at full time we were feeling okay, but walking up the road here in the full time scores maybe feeling a little less good on that point. But we'll do some questions. We'll start with the one that I've teased already from Super Frans, which is, given we are now 4 games into a 5-game run against bottom half teams, and only now looking competitive, did we make the change 2 games too late? Was beating Swansea and winning Hurst International break the worst thing that could have happened? Dave, we've heard from you on that one. Stat, do you want to give us your thoughts?
Yeah, we did. We did wait too long, and I think one of the things that has kind of frustrated me of late is that the international break now seems to be a decision when people make, certainly Ipswich fans want to make a decision on the manager. We just get to the international break and see how it is. And he should have gone before, but I don't think we'd be doing much better. But I think what we do need to recognise is, I don't know how many days Lambert would have had on the training ground with them. What, about 4 days? But they just seem to be more cohesive and stuff like that. So. Yeah, the change was too late, but as we say at work, so what? It is what it is. We've just got to deal with it now, and it's not treat every game like a cup final. But I just think, we just need to we just need to score a couple. It's silly to say that. We just need to score a couple of goals and pick up a couple of wins, and I think that will give the team some confidence. But we do need to get to January, and hopefully, there's talk about £10 million for Lambert. I don't think it'll be that much, but we do need him to bring in some of his own players. And it wouldn't bother me if we got to January and we're still 5 points off safety. There's plenty of points to play, and I think we just need to get a bit more experience in and a few more options, particularly up front. Darren Brent, but Darren Bent is
David Brent.
Yeah, David Brent. Well,
could do a
maybe
job.
He could do a job. Yeah,
do a job.
All you've got to do is keep on walking. Yep.
Yeah.
You've teased my next question actually there really well, Stat, about the 5 points, which you've already mentioned as well. Question from Luke, Dave. How nice was it to see us look like a half-decent side for a large period of a game? If you were offered our current position, i.e. 5 points adrift at the bottom, on January 1st, when Lambert can get his players in, would you take it?
So 5 points. So 5 points adrift at the 5 points from safety. Yes, I think I would. Yeah, I don't think we can be a lot because we can. If we're any worse than that, if we're 7, 8, 9 points, I think that's a big ask, real big ask.
I mean, what would we have? We'd have 20 odd games left at the 1st of January 2021. You're talking about 60 odd points, and
you are. I know, Stat, but can you see us putting 3 or 4 wins together, which is perhaps getting to that stage what you'd need?
Well, come on, let's think about. I can't remember what year it was, but when Palace beat us on Boxing Day, and I think they were bottom,
yeah, okay,
and
yeah.
they made the playoffs. So
they did.
They had Andrew Johnson up front.
Andrew Johnson. Yeah. Didn't he used to be called Andy Johnson, and then he changed to Andrew? A bit like Andy Cole and Andrew Cole.
Rebranded.
Yeah.
Don't know. And thoughts on us looking half decent, Dave, as well? It's I think,
as I said earlier, just look half decent. I think just a much better tempo to our play. I thought, and certainly with the fullbacks getting forward. As I said, certainly first half with Spence in front of where it's sitting in front of me where I sit, is much more evident. So that's certainly positive. Yeah, certainly yesterday there were a lot more positives to take out of the negatives, which, let's face it, under Hurst for the last probably 10 games, probably since the Norwich game, I don't know, there really hasn't been many positives at all, has there?
Well, talking of negatives, a question for Craig. Given the state of the squad that's been assembled, realistically, what can Paul Lambert do re-scoring more goals? Despite a largely improved display yesterday, which we've all acknowledged, we still only had 2 shots on target, which is fewer than Preston North End, according to Craig. My notes didn't really bring that stat out, but I'll trust you, Craig. But thoughts on our lack of goal threat and what can Paul Lambert realistically do about it?
Well, I think, Dave mentioned earlier about Freddie C as not being exactly prolific, but I think, when he first joined us, when Mick first signed him, he did score quite a few goals, and I think if he gets a run playing in the right position where he could do, then he might nick a few. But realistically, I think between now and January, we could win 1-0, lose 1-0, draw 1-1. I think that's the kind of pattern that we're going to have. I think Jordan Roberts, he's not gonna weigh in with 6 or 7 goals over the next 9 games. Caden Jackson isn't. But you made a point earlier, I think Rich, about goals from midfield, and I think that's what we need to do. But they're not going to come from skews. So
are they going to come? They're not. Go on.
Edwards. I mean, he started off earlier in the season, but we need about 3 goals from midfield, and probably more than that, 6 goals from midfield. I don't know.
Centre halves, you talk about, you think of the old
corners.
Only going back a few years, corners. Tommy Smith was always good for half a dozen goals a season. Yeah. I'm sure his stat would know this. He must have averaged at least 5 or 6.
Yeah, he'd get 5 or 6. So yeah, you're right. Chambers, Pennington as well could be the person to get his head on it.
Yeah. I don't know about you. I thought Pennington was superb. Yes, I thought overall he was our best player yesterday, without doubt.
Stat, do you think Roberts will get a run in the team now as a starter?
I think so.
Yep.
I don't see any point in Lambert of bringing him in yesterday. Just from out of the cold to then leave him for a bit. So yeah, I would fully expect him to start at Reading, and actually, it could. The team could be set up better to play away from home, and obviously we had a great away win last season at Reading, and maybe this is the time where Lambert sort of kickstarts our revival.
Possibly, hopefully, fingers crossed. Dave, question for Brad Lloyd: is Paul Lambert using that animator on the touchline? Love that.
Yeah, we've said before, absolutely loved it. I can't recall. I think perhaps he is. I think perhaps that is his style. I mean, I'm just trying to remember the games against Norwich that season, because he was obviously in charge for the 4-1 there and that 5-1 at Portman Road, wasn't he? And I'm pretty sure he was equally as animated then. So I just think this is his style. And let's face it, look, that's what we need. I think certainly the previous manager's body language in it, certainly his last few games, didn't help at all. And okay, you'd say okay, maybe his number 2 was the one that with the body language, but then I'm not sure that was all positive, was it? From what we understand or led to understand.
The thing I didn't like about Chris Doig, and I could give you a long list of things, but the one thing that really kind of annoyed me was that he just seemed to sit down a lot until we scored a goal, which wasn't very often. And suddenly he was up off the bench and he was right in the middle. And I think you haven't done anything for 45 minutes. And Lambert's assistant, what's his assistant called?
Matt Gill. Stuart Taylor, sorry, yeah. Matt Gill's
Who's the guy that looks like Kalina, the ref? Who's he?
Voldemort.
He's great.
He's the new fitness, Jim something. He's the new fitness coach.
He's the new fitness guy.
But yeah, what I liked about his assistant was that he was up and mentioned a point you said earlier, Dave, that he was up and looking at people, giving a thumbs up, giving a little round of applause and stuff like that. And this is what this team needs. It needs all of the confidence to think, actually you're not bad players. We're in a situation, and at this point you need everybody. I don't want to sound like Mick McCarthy, obviously, but you just need everybody to kind of dig in and know what their job is, and let's be a strong team and go forward together as a strong team. And I think that's what Lambert will be encouraged on the training ground.
I think it's spot on, and even these experienced pros like Chambers and Skews, they all need, sometimes they just need a little arm around them, they do, and I just don't think they got that. They just didn't get that at all, and I think that comes straight from probably the second game of the season. What happened at Exeter and his interview afterwards. All very negative.
Let's do 3 quick fire ones to finish off. Apologies to people we've got some really decent questions. Some of them have kind of come up already, so apologies for kind of skipping through those. But Who wants this one? Yucky Brain, my favourite. I always ask a question from Yucky Brain. Do you think that Nyden will be brought back into the team in January? Stat?
Yeah, he's certainly got to come back. Got to come back in the squad. I just don't think we have that many options. He's one of our own players. It gives him a. If you look at Teo Eden and stuff like that, who's on the bench, hasn't been used that often. Well, he's using up a loan space, so I'd rather get. Yeah,
no better.
No
and
better.
I think Nyden started for St Johnstone yesterday.
Oh, did he? Finally.
Yep.
Oh, well, there you go. One more, because we were going quick fire, but we had a bit of elaboration. That's fine. That's my fault. From James, Dave, if you could have one former Town player in their prime in the current team, who'd it be? We've talked about Magilton already and McGreal. So actually, we'll have that from both of you. We'll end on that one.
Marcus Stewart.
Marcus Stewart. Finidi George.
No, I think it's crying out for. I think I wouldn't say anyone different than in recent years. Going back, I'm not going to go back to Rocky, say Billy Arnold, Muren or John Walk for 36 goals. But yeah, in seasons of since Burley era, Magilton, I think.
Yep. Stat.
Yeah, Magilton's a good shout. Who scored more than 5 goals? Sam Parkin. He would do all right. He scored a few goals, but
you could just play him in the away games.
I know what Dave's saying about Jim Magilton and the fact that he can get the foot on the ball and play some great passes and stuff. But I still think that we need somebody to stick the ball in the back of the net. And you mentioned Marcus Stewart, Dave, but you know that on his day that David Johnson was better than him. So I'd like
Jono. Good
the pocket rocket David Johnson who would bully the centre halves and score. What we need is somebody to score a quick 10 to 12 goals. So yeah, I'd go with Jono.
And that's the difference. I think that's the difference now to the difference when McCarthy came in. People said, "Oh yeah, we're 5 points adrift when McCarthy came in," but he had DJ Campbell, who I think was on a run of something like 8 goals in 10 games. And I think I had a look a few days ago, like 5 of those games he scored the odd goal, and they were winning goals as well. Well, we ain't got anyone who's likely to do that now, have we? Not at the moment.
But plus also he scored with his hands as well, which was
He did. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you for those. Again, apologies for us for not asking all those questions. You had so many. A question from Vinamaipo about signing Matt Pennington in permanently in January. I think is he on loan until January, or is he on for the season? I can't remember.
I think he might be season. I know.
Hopefully,
I think in the close season or season 2017. I think he signed a new contract. He's certainly on a contract with Everton, so I'm sure he's got another season at least after this one. But he's 24. He's not young. He's young. Not young. He's 24. So is he going to cut it at Everton? Who knows? Don't know. But very good player
for us, indeed.
Yeah.
Let's do the roundup and put our 1-1 in context with who else played yesterday. I'll go through. We had Friday night. It was Villa Bolton 2-0 Villa. Solid but unspectacular win for Villa by all accounts, but starting to keep clean sheets for once, Villa. And
Bolton have got worse form than we have. They've lost the last 4, I think.
Yeah, so that's another team being dragged into this mini relegation league.
Can I just say, Rich, that bizarrely I've had an unusual weekend, and I spent most of today moving the shed. Really exciting stuff at Stat Towers.
Oh, tell us more about this, Stat.
I don't know the results.
Oh, okay. Well,
so when you announce them, I'm going to go.
Do you want me to do Alexander Gordon or what? James Alexander? I can. Well, let me start with the teams around us, shall I? Hull City 1, West Bromwich Albion 0, and that was probably the one that was the kick in the wasn't it, Dave?
Wow.
That was the kick in the nads. That one, big time.
And West Brom had a bit of a slump, as I mentioned earlier.
Sorry.
And West Brom had a bit of a slump, as I mentioned earlier, and Darren Moore starting to come under a bit of pressure.
Well, they're not even in the top 6. They're out of the top 6 now. So that with their strike force and stuff, that really shouldn't be. They're just conceding too many. Hopefully they'll continue that way for the next few weeks.
Yep. So our opponents next week: Reading 3, looking at stats face Bristol City 2. That's 2 home wins on the bounce for Reading.
I tell you what, that's 2 extra points for Hull and Reading already in my prediction of where we need to be, compared to the
best one's still to come. Don't worry. Go on, Rich.
Right. Well, all the best teams in the division beat Swansea, and that includes Rotherham United 2, Swansea City 1. 2 late penalties for Rotherham. So they beat
They were
Swansea.
getting battered as well. They were 1-0 down and getting battered. Yeah, 2 late penalties. Yeah.
Still got to say our sliding door moment this season happened at Rotherham away. I thought we played particularly. We didn't play brilliant, but we played well, and that
Should have
to
been out
see
of
that
sight,
last.
shouldn't
Yeah.
So that one wasn't out for either. We've got now trying to pick the best for the rest. Brentford 2, Millwall 0. I don't think that was much of a surprise with Brentford starting to click into gear with their new boss. Blackburn 1, QPR 0. So Blackburn's home record is amazing, isn't it? And Bradley Dack again.
Lost one in 28.
But QPR with the form team going to that one. Frank Lampard's derby, 3-1 winners over Birmingham City, who were another team who were in a good run, Birmingham.
Yeah.
Another goal from Marriott I saw there.
Yep, and it was the keeper let in his near post. It wasn't a classic, but he's starting to.
He's got a good one at Chelsea. Didn't he?
It was nice.
Really well at Chelsea.
Yeah, playing with confidence.
Yeah.
Forest annoying everyone by helping out our East Anglian neighbours Norwich by beating Sheffield United 1-0.
Graben, wasn't it? And there's a good player at this level, Lewis Graben.
Yeah.
I think he's got like 9 in 10 or something like that, 9 in 11. Yeah, at this level, good player. Very good.
And then the evening game yesterday was guess the scoreline: Stoke City versus Middlesbrough.
my obvious. I'm not convinced it'll be 4-2, so I'm going to go for 0-0.
0-0, quite right. Yeah, 0-0.
Wow, we should have made loads of money on that. That is just such an obvious scoreline between Stoke and Middlesbrough.
Yeah. There was another game played yesterday at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Norwich City 4, and they also missed a penalty. So Norwich were temporarily top of the league, the form team in the division, but fortunately Leeds beat Wigan 2-1 today to regain top spot on goal difference.
Thank God for that.
Dave Whelan's
Norwich have run 8 out of the last 10. They are flying.
Yeah, so the league table didn't
make... 0-0 at half-time, that game.
Yeah, and they scored. Sheffield Wednesday conceded some really crappy goals as well. And then,
so do we think that our last manager but one might be in with a shout there at some point?
Has Ben decreed that we can mention him by name now? I thought it was
Go on,
Mick.
I'll leave that to Stat.
Yeah. So he was on beIN Sports today, Mick McCarthy, talking about those rumours and slammed them down very quickly. Don't talk about people jobs where people are in charge still.
Right.
But he'll be loving it, won't he? Is that one for him, Stat? Sheffield Wednesday?
I think that would be a great fit for him. Particularly, like you say, I didn't realise that they got spanked 4. I knew that Norwich had won, but I didn't realise that they spanked them 4-0. What you need is someone like Mick to come in there and steady the ship and stop conceding 4 goals at home, whoever you're playing against.
Yep.
I wish him well in whatever job he gets next.
Yep, I believe that.
Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, shows what the division's like. Sheffield Wednesday, I think 2 weeks ago, were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In top 6 2 weeks ago, and I think it's 3 defeats on the bounce, I think now. Not good.
Yeah, so the league table doesn't make great viewing. It certainly didn't on Saturday night, thank you to Leeds, although that hurts me to say as well, for winning today.
Dirty Leeds.
I don't think I've missed any of the scores, but I'll do the extrapolation. This is my version of the extrapolation. I won't be doing the players, goals and all that kind of stuff. But we are currently on 0.625 points per game at the moment. We have 10 points so far. If we want to make the magical 50 points as a position of safety, we have 30 games remaining. So I've calculated we need 10 wins, 10 draws, and we can have 10 defeats, which basically means we need 1.33 points per game from now on. There was a question which I skipped over, which is Lambert going to keep us up? Do you think those stats are achievable? Stat.
Yeah. So 22nd place, how many points is 22nd on? No, how many points are 21st on? What have they got at the moment?
Oh,
We're
now you're asking.
15 from what? 15?
So we're on 10 points.
16.
Hull and Reading and Preston all on 15. Bolton on 16. Millwall on 16.
I don't believe that 50 is going to be needed this year.
No, I think you're right.
A bit lower, maybe 46 or 47. Yeah, I like I said earlier, we just got to stay within touching distance, and if touching distance is still 5 points adrift, come January, I think it'll be a lot. It could be different. I think your 10 wins and 10 draws is I don't think we need that many. And the important thing is about you've got to pick points up against the teams that are around us, and I think that's more important. We need to kind of forget some of the games against
Yeah,
the
it's those
teams in
it's
the
those
top
games
six.
we've lost the away already. Hull we've lost away.
Yeah.
Rotherham we lost away. Millwall we lost away. So you need to turn those results around. Certainly those three for start round the other way.
We'll have a big one next week, which we'll talk about at the end as well.
But we've won incredibly 2 home games in 2018.
Yep. Not good, is it?
Wow.
Well, let's try to move on to something positive. Let's turn a negative and positive. Two Little Ducks. I know how you guys love Two Little Ducks, and for once, I am the one who gets to host. I means I don't have to worry about it.
I'm gonna do a Harry type. So I've got me thing. I've got a Harry type.
I thought I would. Number one, go back in time a little bit because I know you guys as the host of This Week in ITFC history love looking back in the past. I thought I'd find a season where we were good. I found a game in the week around where we are, and against team that are in the north of the country like Preston are, who were our opponents yesterday, and I've picked Blackburn Rovers 2, Ipswich Town 2 from November 1999, our promotion season. I will give you some help here. That David Johnson and James Scowcroft were injured, so we had a slightly revamped strike force. This is the Blackburn team that I think have been recently relegated, so has some big Premier League names in there as well. So Blackburn 2, Ipswich Town 2, some last minute drama. I'll give you a moment to think about those. I'll do the plugs very quickly. So you can follow the channel on Twitter, Blue Monday ITFC, on YouTube. Blue Monday, I think it's Benjamin Bloom's channel on YouTube. Our live podcast is on the 16th of February next year. It will be great to see as many as you can make it there. That's the Stoke game. We will all be there, and we will be giving it out the banter in big style after we draw 0-0 with Stoke. And you can follow me at Ipswich, Dave at David Diamond 3, Renegade Statman at Renegade Statman, I believe, or at Chompex3. Apologies.
Chompex3, yeah.
So I've just saved us a bit of time at the end. So who wants to go?
I'm a bit worried, Rich.
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried that Dave's got a pen and a pad, is writing things down, and all I'm doing is coming up with some names in my head.
Well, I'm
trying to do it properly.
I'm trying to do a
Harry from Bath type.
I don't.
I tell you what, being the sad Stato, I know about a player who played 20 games for us, but only started one game.
Oh, well, there you go.
I think I know, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to save that one. I'm going to see if Dave gets that. But I think.
So what season? So we're talking 99. So the promotion season,
yeah. Promotion season. So I'm going to give you.
Away.
We didn't make any subs, so I will take.
Wow.
Apparently, according to my statistics, which may or may not be correct,
okay.
All my notes from Preston yesterday, frankly,
I can remember this game, a thumping volley, I think, from Tony Mowbray.
Tony Mowbray, 1 point.
A thumper.
I'll let you have a pass on the substitutes if you name them. Don't forget you've got your golden goose as well.
Dave, are we just going to avoid Blackburn for now?
Yeah, I think so, mate.
Right.
Yeah.
Start at the back.
Right, yeah. I'm going to go for Jamie Clapham.
Jamie Clapham, 1 point.
I'm going to go for, because I think you'd have given us a steer if he wasn't playing, Richard of the Right.
Richard Wright.
Mickey Stockwell.
Mickey Stockwell, great shout. You're on 4.
Mark Venus.
Nice. Yep. We've mentioned one of the other defenders already today.
Oh, okay. John McGreal.
John McGreal.
Ooh.
John McGreal.
Captain.
Matt Holland.
Yep.
Right, I'm gonna pluck this one out because I'm kind of struggling. And I remember he made one start and 19 substitute appearances.
Oh, I know where you're coming from. I think.
Yeah. Jonas Axeldal.
Jonas Axeldal.
Get in. Yes.
His one and only start.
It was.
Great shout. And if anyone's got that on the pod, fair play. without cheating. Give us a tweet if you got Jonas
So-
Axel. So he was
hang
up
on,
front
so
with
we've got-
someone who
we've
wasn't David Johnson and James Scowcroft.
Have I
We've
got
got
to wait for
Clapham,
Dave
we've
to
got
answer?
Venus, we've got Mowbray.
We
Stock.
haven't got. I don't.
We've got Stock. Do you say Stock? Someone say Stockwell.
Stockwell's gone,
I
yeah.
don't think he was right back. Don't think he was right back though.
He was not. We're looking for a right. I think it was
Fabian
yes,
Wilness.
Fabian. I think it was a 3-5-2 that day. So I'm looking for to complete the set. And I thought you'd do well because it's 99-2000, but Axeldal's a great shot. I'm looking for a midfielder, and I'm looking for the other striker.
Right. Which one?
Midfield.
It's my go, isn't it? Is it my go?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to get possessive about this,
Hey, go
but we've got to get it right. We've got to get it right. Can we confer?
You can, yeah, of course.
So, who did you say was out with Axeldal playing? So there was no
Scully,
Johnson.
no Jono, and
Yeah.
Stu hadn't signed yet.
All right. Okay.
Richard Naylor.
Richard
He's up
Naylor.
front. Yeah, he would have been
So
up
who are
front.
we missing?
We are missing a
Rich?
midfielder who signed for us.
I think I
that
know who it
season.
is.
Jermaine Wright.
Jermaine Wright. We have got the whole set. Do you want to have a go at the subs or do you want to have a go at Blackburn? I'm happy to give clues to Blackburn.
Subs.
I thought you said there weren't any subs.
There weren't any subs made, but you've got the whole team, so you've got all the whole set there.
Subs. Gary Croft.
Gary Croft, keeper. Abridge Swift.
Brannigan.
No,
Salmon.
no.
Hey?
James Pullen.
Ah.
There was another striker, young player. I don't think he scored for us. Not Neil Midgley.
Midgley.
The other one who went to Kidderminster. Same first name as me.
Oh, Richard Logan.
Richard Logan.
Yeah.
Logan. Yeah.
And then another Dutch player who hardly featured, who had a good name, midfielder, I think he was.
Yeah.
Constant.
Oh Christ! Yeah. What's his name? That midfield.
Not Nabil Abdallah.
No, Marco
Holster.
Holster.
And the other one was Wayne Brown.
Oh, of course.
Should we quickly go through the Blackburn team? Because there are some big names here. Do you want to fancy
in
a
goal?
bash?
Matt Jansen.
No.
Go.
You've gone out on Matt
that's
Jansen.
my
Do you want to play your goose? Go on then.
That's
Go
my
play your
goose.
I mean, you've got 11 already on the Ipswich team.
Lee Carsley.
Hang on. Let's
Scored. Correct.
Good one. Who would the keeper be? So just come.
So the keeper is not one that you probably think of Blackburn.
Oh, right, okay. Let's forget about the keeper.
He had a career. He was an Ireland international. Played for Sheffield United. He's probably more known for playing for Sheffield United.
Alan Kelly.
Alan Kelly.
Yeah.
Nice one.
What do you reckon about somebody called Stuart? First name Stuart.
Stuart Ripley. No. So we're only conferring. No. You
Yeah,
can't.
definitely not Stuart Ripley. Then no, that's a silly one. 9.
I can give you some clues, guys. There's some good ex-Liverpool players here. Midfielder, Spice Boys.
Oh,
Jason.
Jason McAteer.
Yeah. Defender,
What
Liverpool
about-
defender as well. I think he's a left back. Steve. You're not going to get that one. Harkness.
Steve
Nice.
Harkness.
Yeah. Ex-Coventry and Scotland defender Christian
Daly.
Daly. I think this is. Oh, I'm going to get this wrong. Another centre back, Taylor. I think it's Matt Taylor. Is it? Possibly. Not sure. Might have got that
Possibly.
one wrong.
Yeah, never would have got that in a million years.
Ex-Preston manager was also playing that game. It was linked with us.
Oh, no, Owen
Sunderland
Corbett played
manager.
for that.
Who manager?
Sunderland and Preston manager.
Oh, Chris. Oh, did Chris
Chris
Coleman
Coleman?
used to
No.
play? No, it was a bit earlier than that. But
Also managed
Sunderland.
Leeds. Also managed
Simon-
Leeds.
no.
Yes.
Grayson.
Simon Grayson.
Grayson. Yep. Did a Rabona in the second City derby for Birmingham City and fell over. Midfielder.
Oh, Robbie Savage.
No.
Oh no, Dunn.
David Dunn.
Oh, David Dunn.
David Dunn. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Irish winger.
Damien Duff.
Damien Duff. I was going to talk about Simpsons beer.
Yeah.
This guy got sent off actually. Welsh striker.
What in that game?
Played for
No,
played for
no.
Cardiff.
Oh, no, I'm done. I think.
Nathan Blake.
God.
And also alongside him was ex-Bradford, Sheffield Wednesday, possibly Norwich striker as well. Ashley Ward.
Oh,
Looking at your faces. Jeff Kenner was on the bench. Igel Ostenstad came on. But I think you guys did really well there. really, Ipswich team
did alright with the town team.
is going to be good. But
Axel Dale was a shout about a stat.
Great one.
When he started to say, when he gave it away, he said 1 appearance, 20 subs. I might have got it, but good start that.
No, I didn't say that, Dave. I said 1 appearance, 19 subs. It was 20 in total.
How many times did he hit the woodwork stat? Do we know that?
Certainly remember him hitting it against Man City away.
Port Vale, I think he did as well.
Yeah, Port Vale.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, that was...
went to Cambridge stat, am I right?
He did. He's now the assistant manager of a team in Sweden, Falkenberg. He's the assistant manager, one of 2 assistant managers. They're a second division team in Sweden. So you can still find him. Him. I thought I'd go easy on you, and hopefully that was a bit more relaxing than the usual.
It was, yeah. Ben would never have given us clues like that, but yeah, I know. I think we were never going to get many of the Blackburn, but yeah, good one that.
I don't know about you, Dave, but I was a bit disappointed that it wasn't Ipswich versus Leeds from 1972.
Okay, so David Harvey, Paul Reaney.
No.
Richard Madeley.
Save it for another time.
Sharpton, of course. Richard. Yes. Oh yeah, Richard Madeley.
We've descended into
somebody.
This is the Sunday show, guys. Come on, we're not. This is not This Week in ITFC history.
No accents. I mean, Audi TT, man.
Tommy Miller got a couple of good retweets this week from Tommy Miller and Shefty Coochie, didn't he, Shefty?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Did we get one from Shefty?
Yeah.
And was that true? We did get one from Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy Miller, because I tweeted about his Audi TT. I can imagine like Tommy sitting at home or whatever he's doing and checking his phone and going, "Who's talking about my Audi TT? Away, Tommy."
He probably only had it for 2 weeks. Probably got his Ferrari or something.
If you want witty banter like this,
there's a goal scoring midfield
player.
We'll
have a Tommy Miller. But if you want to see Stat and Dave giving it the big one, the repartee, the raconteurs that are Stat and Dave, this week in ITF's history, it came out yesterday, was it? Friday? The most recent one?
Saturday morning it came out, yeah.
Any big shows on that? Any big games, sorry?
There was 21 goals, 4 matches.
Oh, there were Rich, there was Rotherham away, Murphy hat-trick, there was, what else was there?
Gillingham at home.
Oh,
in the 7-goal.
Gillingham, it was 2-2.
Oh, the one we lost.
Oh, and Arsenal. The Arsenal
2-1
Cup game.
Oh, with a nice clip of the goal provided by yours truly as well. Always happy to.
That was a good goal. What a well-taken goal that was. It's hard to describe that goal. I said he pirouetted on the ball. I thought that was a lovely soft touch.
Lovely soft touch. Talking about teams that are a lovely soft touch, or maybe not so much anymore. Boom, there's 2 of those. That is how you host, boys. Reading next week. Any thoughts on Reading? That's not going to be as easy, perhaps, as we might have thought a few weeks back.
Thoughts on Reading is there's no way I'm going to meet in that bloody stupid TGI Fridays and bloody getting a car park queue for about an hour before and getting caught short. Stat, do you remember?
Of course I remember. It's one of the very few times.
Leaving it, taking a 100-mile detour to the station. No offence, Darryl.
Yeah, but it's one of the very few times that I've been in a car in a traffic jam and the driver's got out because he needed to answer the call of nature, which was a bit worrying.
I
was asking about the game, guys, but transport logistics. If you want Taplow winner.
Anyway, sorry, the game. Sorry, see, this is us on a Thursday evening.
Can I just give you a bit of advice, Dave?
Go on.
Don't lock anybody in your car like you did last time.
Oh yeah, there was that as well. Yeah, where's that? Why's my alarm going off? Oh, he's locked in the car.
I'm just hearing Ben in my head going, "When did he lose control of the pod, Rich?"
Yeah. He's lost it. I bet Ben said you just keep control over those two. Don't run away with it.
Don't give him an inch.
Away.
What's going to happen next week?
And we mustn't lose. I know it's a win, brilliant, but we must not lose that game.
Not lose. Agree with that.
There's nothing as good as an away point. So yeah, I think take a point from that game.
We take it now. Wouldn't even get on the bus, would we?
Wouldn't even get on the bus. Yeah.
If we lose that game and there's another. You've been only described as a shitstorm of results again. You're suddenly 8 or 9 points adrift.
But I'm a great believer that
6, 7 or 8.
I'm a great believer that things level themselves out over the season, and the results as you read them, Rich. And I hadn't heard them. I knew that Norwich had won because of their position in the league, but very poor results for us yesterday. But you look at it, and we're still 5 points, away from safety as we were before the kickoff on Saturday. And so, what we just need to do is look to narrow that. Not always going to go against us. So yeah, I think we might possibly get it down to 4 points from safety on Saturday.
There is a prediction. Well,
you're right. Yeah, keep whittling away, away.
Absolutely right. Well, Dave, I'll see you in Reading, hopefully, and a few of the other Blue Monday crew, and hopefully a load of other town fans as well.
I guess Harry's coming
Harry
up.
make an appearance as well, and obviously you can.
Sorry, Harry, a reasonable journey for Harry.
That part of the world-ish. And we'll be back for the preview show, obviously going into great detail on Reading and our chances there. So looking forward to that. Is there a new this week? It is ICFC history out this week, or is that?
There is, but just to let you know, I sent Dave an email to pick some games on Friday, and I'm still waiting for the answer.
I know. So I must admit, again, there's been some fairly slim. Well, last week it was a goal fest, but I think there is one or two quite juicy games now. So I'll look at that this evening for you.
My Two Little Ducks was difficult for that exact reason. So good luck with that. So we'll obviously let you know when this week in ITFC history is out. Guys, that was great fun. Thank you very much for being part of my Sunday special team. There you go.
Very good. You're brilliant. Nice one, Rich.
And you did very well. So this was your debut on this show?
Hosting, didn't screw up too much.
A solid hosting debut there, Rich.
We'll see. Well, let us know. No, actually, don't let us know if it was all right.
I'll never do that.
Enjoy the Royal Box Hotel. Enjoy the continental breakfast. Get a free newspaper. And hopefully we'll see you guys both soon. Say goodbye, guys.
See you later.
Guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you.
Even better back to Stewart. Oh, he turns the defender sweetly. Round the goalkeeper and scores a magnificent goal at the top end.